Hello, and welcome to another update video about Polkadot. On the Polkadot chart, the situation is still pretty much unchanged. The price is trolling support, hasn't made a new price extreme to the downside, but the expectations are still for the price to go down lower until we see a decent reversal signal. That could be a break out of this trend channel to the upside, even though I have to say this channel is not terribly well defined. One more touch point would be needed. We only have 2 touch points up there, 2 down there. I'd like to see 3. That third wave could be generated with this B wave because the expectation is that we're currently dealing here with a so-called WXYXZ pattern. So the Z wave would be an A, B, C structure, and the B wave is expected to unfold shortly. So at least it would be expected to give us a new price extreme to the downside. One more low below this $3.91 level, which the price formed in this so-called Y wave on the 11th of September. That would be expected, and in an ideal world, this would happen after a B wave rally, and then we come down in wave C. I mean, okay, the A wave can always extend lower and so on. At some point, though, we should ideally get a bit of a B wave rally. And yeah, I can only obviously look for the ideal structures, and in an ideal world, we would get a clearly recognizable 3-wave structure here in this Z wave. So basically A wave down, B wave up, C wave down. And I mean, it might have started. If it has, it's very weak. Now the tricky thing is the B waves are the corrective rallies within corrections. So they can be very chameleon-like. They can be very short. They can be very aggressive, very long, whatever. It's very difficult to forecast really a B wave. So if we measure like the fib levels, right, resistance for the B wave, then we would be looking at the area between $4.12 and $4.23. Ideally for the price to get in there. Okay, it doesn't need to. Sometimes a B wave is really shallow, but a healthy B wave is always a little bit more reliable. At least then we also have a bit more of a guide path to follow, and it's a little bit like a landmark where we can recognize better, where we are really. So that B wave rally is expected at some point. Yeah, might have started. B waves can unfold as triangles as well, which will always make them a little bit more difficult to detect, but that would just be a sideways range then. But the important factor here is to understand that ideally the B wave stays below $4.23. Now a break above $4.23 will first of all not invalidate a B wave, because B waves can overshoot. They are difficult waves. And also, if we break above that level, okay, even if the B wave, even if it's not the B wave, because it would be more aggressive than you would expect it from a B wave in this scenario, then it can always be a reset just of the X wave, and the sell-off is just delayed. So what I want to emphasize here is that even a break above resistance will not necessarily make the chart bullish. It might just lead to a more extended corrective rally. Right, so that's what I'm watching for. Potentially that small rally. That itself would be in the B wave another ABC structure. For example, this could have been the A wave, the B wave, and we now on our way higher in a C wave of wave B. But that gets really into micro or even into nano counting, you could say, where it is just not reliable anymore to really focus on this wave degree. I sometimes show it in the videos for educational purposes, but be aware that we are focusing increasingly often on the smaller time frames, just because the larger time frames aren't doing much. And we just use the micro count to understand what is actually relevant resistance, what is support. And that's really the key, understanding the key pivot points, and understanding the structure. Because if we get 5 waves above resistance, that would be quite positive. And then we can look at potential trend reversals. But it's not evident in the chart. I mean, what I need to say once again, we have come very close to an area where a trend reversal could happen and should happen. So we have 5 waves down of the February high. So these 5 waves down, they basically are nearly complete, and that is typically where I'm watching for reversal signals. I just haven't got one yet, okay? So there's nothing stopping the price from doing this again, that this becomes actually a larger 3-wave move. Obviously I would need to readjust the waves then, but that's still possible. Therefore, it's so important to wait for that reversal signal if you don't want to catch the falling knife. It's basically very simple, very similar to what happened here. Yeah, we might just be here. Okay, very, very similar structure. Last capitulation down. So maybe, that's crystal ball stuff. I don't have it. What's important is therefore to wait for the signals. Let the market tell us when the trend is shifting. At the moment, it's just not there yet. Okay, that's my update about DOT. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.